This is the synthetic parallelism, and you'll definitely want to have your one-page summary sheet because that symbol, we think, makes a really strong statement and it goes right there with that definition. When we say synthetic, what this is referring to is a first thing and a second thing that kind of have to complete each other. They do make sense alone, but not really make sense alone. And we have some really good examples to show for this one. So let's just jump into it. This is a part of a poem that says, "But I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep." And you think about, well, if you only have the first line, "I have promises to keep," the context of that could be anything. The second one, "I've got miles to go before I sleep." Why? Well, because you're late. Well, that's actually not the context he's trying to paint. "I have miles to go before I sleep because my vehicle's broken," or something. It needs to have both. I'm trying to keep a promise. It's really hard for me to do it. It's a long slog. I've got to keep going. Those two together, so much more powerful than just by themselves.
It's so poetic. Yeah, so let's go see some examples of these synthetic parallelism. If you want to open your book to Psalms 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." So let's look just simply at the first line. How might this be a synthetic parallelism?
Right. And if you look, if those verses right there, world famous, like other cultures that aren't even Christian, they know that. And I think it's the reason why it's just so powerful. It's got so much synthetic parallelism in it. It's just powerful. That's one of the reasons why it is powerful. I mean, it's a truth, but it's also, it's the way the truth is expressed. So great. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." The verse could say, "I know I'm going to be okay," or, "I shall not want." But it's like, why? Like, how do you know that? Well, without that top part, you're going to ask, "Oh, how do you know that?" Or is that just optimism? No. I know I'm not going to want because I'm being led. I have a shepherd who's God. He's in charge of everything, and he's shepherding me. Like, so much more powerful. That's that synthetic combination that's so strong.
And it just reminds me of he knows this is his God, his shepherd. There was a lot in there.
There were quite a few.
Yeah. I'm sure we could dive in more. Let's just keep going. Okay. Open your book to Psalm 24, and let's read. "The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Salah." All right, so let's look at verse 3 and 4. How is this a synthetic parallelism? I love how it's simple in English.
It's so
simple. It makes it simple because of the English.
And can you imagine if someone tried to put a chapter break or something in between the question, which is the first half, and the answer? They can't be separated. These have to go together. They're synthetic. "Who shall ascend to the hill of the Lord? Who shall stand in the hill? Clean hands, pure heart, not lifting up your soul to vanity," and so forth. If you tried to separate those, "He who has clean hands," and da-da-da, and it just kind of it sits there by itself. And the first one too, if you just leave it with a question without the answer, it's just not the same.
Yeah, and I love adding the context, which is another aspect of understanding the scriptures from the author's point of view, is looking further as this chapter continues, or else this might be the end of the chapter actually. But I like how the fifth line is giving us another verification, so that I'm wondering about if it's adding another parallelism.
Yeah.
There, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
Pull open Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7. "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck." So how is this line, verse 7 of Proverbs 1, showing us a synthetic parallel structure, which gives us more meaning?
Yeah, I think if I read it, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. If you put a period there and just say it like a prose statement, like an ingredient, you know, in a recipe, just you got to have fear of the Lord. It makes you smart. Good message. But if you show the opposite, it makes the correct way stronger. Does that make sense? So fools are despising wisdom and destruction. You know, if you despise the wisdom and destruction, you're kind of being a fool. But when you want to be wise, you start with fear of the Lord.
No, I'm wondering about this one being a antithetic because it's showing an opposite.
Could be, but they, yeah, right. It could be argued both, right? I think it's synthetic just because they go together, but you're right, antithetic because you've got the wise and the fool. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it completing?
I think it, yeah, I think it does both. But yeah, for this video, for this conversation, I definitely say that they're very synthetic. They go right with each other.
Because if the fools despise wisdom and instruction, then it kind of leaves it hanging. It doesn't stand on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But it can also be,
I think so.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Good. We've already listened to that one. Hopefully you've listened to that one. All
That's why you need that summary sheet, because it could be a lot of poetry, could be many things. And when you see a big passage like this, you might recognize like a macro level instead of a micro. We're looking at individual verses for these tutorial videos, but it can be chapters and chapters talking about each other.
Yeah, and this chapter can verify or complement or contradict or contrast the previous chapter. And for this, the point of these videos is to just help you understand and share the definitions.
Yeah, and the real point is just, we think this is important because there's so much power and beauty and just gracefulness of, you know, the truths that are hiding in plain sight once you know how to see them in these scriptures. So we want you to come to a discussion. Come and see what we see. Come and talk about it with us, argue with us in a live discussion, or maybe watch the videos after. But yeah, there's real strength in these.
Yeah.